Howdy my totally tubular gamers, we're back with another video. Let's get to it.
Well, it's that time of the month again. Somehow we are already in August. July has come and gone, and it's time to talk about what I played for the month of July. I've been doing this every single month all year, and will continue doing this for at least the rest of the year. Have you been enjoying me talking about every game I play all month, or are you sick of me doing these? Let me know down below. Either way, we're going to talk about all of the games that I had the privilege of playing in the month of July. The month of July was a really strange, interesting month for me personally. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the most memorable month for me all year personally, for better and for worse. On the negative side of things, I found myself going through a very bad breakup of a long-term relationship, and I actually find myself on the unemployment line again as I have been laid off from my job again. It was another instance of me being let go due to a headcount reduction. It's just budget cuts, brother. All while the top executives reap in their giant annual bonus. But anyway, on the more positive side of things, Capcom invited me back to their HQ IRL to stream with them, and that was an absolute blast, and thank you so much if you joined. Like, truly, thank you very, very much. This has just been an absolute dream come true. I got to play some Onimusha and Kunitsigami with them. That was pretty freaking cool. Oh, and I did actually go to South Korea for a hair transplant. I'm sure plenty of you have seen it with the shorts, but I did actually genuinely go to Seoul to get a hair transplant. I will no longer be baldathan. I have started to combat my receding hairline, and yeah, it is very irritated, but I'm really excited to see how this thing looks in like 6 to 12 months. I've still got plenty of intros filmed with that old hairline though, so it might be a little bit before you all see it in action. But it'll be popping up on every live stream going forward. At least, I hope it'll be popping up. When it comes to the games I played, I didn't actually finish that many games in July, but I sure played a lot of them. I started a lot of games, and today we're going to be talking about all the games I played for at least a few hours. And I also feel like this is a very interesting spread overall. As always, this isn't a review of these games, this isn't a ranking or some kind of definitive list or anything like that. It's just me sharing some thoughts off the cuff about some games. But anyway, this intro has gone on long enough. Let's get to the games. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I got the Patreon and the super thanks, and thank you all for the support over this last month. It's been greatly appreciated. Seriously, thank you all. Anyway, let's get to the games. So the first game that I want to bring up today is a game that I actually got in June, but I didn't play it until July, and that is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I do want to give a shout out to Xseed for hooking me up with a review code for this one. It very much is appreciated. I have never played a Rune Factory game before, and I was excited to start with this one. And while I haven't beaten it or played all that much of it, I have been enjoying it. This is a really chill little farming action RPG. At first I was like, oh, is this just like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons where it's just all farming? But no, there's actual action RPG stuff here. There's combat, there's leveling up, and really there's just more than meets the eye here. But it's still got all of the farming stuff. Like, you actually have to take care of your crops, there's romance, you're basically building social links with these characters, and I actually quite enjoy this. It leads to a lot of variety, and it feels like it's the best of both worlds. Best of the farming, cozy genre, but also some RPG as well. And I feel like this genre mixing is still kind of rare even all these years later. Like, yeah, there's obviously the other Rune Factory games, and there was like Harvest Stella, but I feel like most cozy farming games are exclusively cozy farming games, so it's cool to see something different here. Graphically, I do like how the game looks as well. It's got some really nice colors to it, and the music seems decent enough as well. I'm actually playing this on the Switch too, and yeah, it actually runs really well, and it's even got a mouse mode to it. As things stand, I enjoy it, but this is one I genuinely do want to put a bit more time into. So a game that you all saw me play in the month of July was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, and I actually played through all of 3 and 4, and I gotta say, I quite love this remake. I actually have ranked every single Tony Hawk Pro Skater at this point, so you can check that out if you want to know my full thoughts on this remake, but generally speaking, I think it is a pretty good game. Is it the most faithful remake? Well, in Pro Skater 3's case, yes, actually, it is a very faithful remake. Pro Skater 4, yeah, it's not the most faithful, but I still thought it was rather enjoyable. I enjoy the 3 new stages that they have here, and all of the returning stages are pretty good for the most part, except the zoo, man. They really messed the zoo up in Pro Skater 4. But hey, you know what? They didn't mess up the presentation and the gameplay. The actual core moment-to-moment gameplay is excellent. It is some of the best physics of any pro skater. It is a whole lot of fun. The skateboarding feels really nice, and the game looks nice as well. The soundtrack, yeah, I do have a few issues with it. Like, I like all of the music that's here. I just wish there was more of the original music, but maybe it was licensing issues. I'm not entirely sure. At least there's some good tunes to listen to. Overall, I think this was a pretty fun remake. and is arguably the best skateboarding game of the 2020s, even if it does at times just kind of feel like an expansion to 1+2. Something else that I played in the month of July was Patapon. Yes, Patapon 1+2 Remastered released in this month, and Bandai Namco were nice enough to hook me up with the code for it, thank you very much, and I had never played Patapon before, and I gotta say, this was one of the most interesting games I played all month. Like, it's so hard to describe what this game even is. There's really nothing else like it. It's a rhythm game, but it's also like a strategy game where it's all about basically commanding your little guys to go take out an enemy camp or scavenge for food, or really even just try to get from point A to B. But the only way to do anything in this game, even moving, it requires you to do a button sequence a la a fighting game, but it's all also to a beat because it's a rhythm game. So it's a mix of like a rhythm game and a strategy game, and yeah, it's just very unique. But there's also something just really compelling about this gameplay loop as well. Seeing all your little guys kick some ass, take out a giant boss, or scavenge for food, all while you're keeping things in sync, actually started to get me really invested, and I was thinking about this game when I wasn't playing it. It's one of those games where I was like, man, I should really get back to Patapon. That was actually a lot of fun. Unsurprisingly, the music is actually really good, and I think the game has a great aesthetic and art style to it. It is, again, unique. I only played Patapon 1, I want to play Patapon 2 sometime this month. I've heard it's a lot better, but I'm also pretty excited to try it because I genuinely enjoyed what the first game had. It's also actually very difficult. Like, I was playing on easy and I was having a hard time lining up the rhythm and keeping things in sync. I really had to lock the fuck in, ignore chat, and just kind of do my own thing to eventually get through some of these levels. Like, this is not an easy game, and the margin for error is so minuscule with a few of these inputs, and I'm just like, damn, that actually requires a lot of effort to pull off, but it is actually pretty rewarding when you're able to do it. Good game, but it's probably gonna kick your ass, like high key. Still, I'm very glad that I finally got to try Patapon. I had seen the series for a very long time, and it's one of the few PlayStation series that I really just had no knowledge of. Well, I got some knowledge of it now, and you know what? That's a good one. But that wasn't the only Bandai Namco game that I got to play in the month of July. I also got to play some of Shadow Labyrinth. Again, major shout out to Bandai Namco for hooking me up with this one. It really is appreciated. I was so curious about this game, and I'm still fascinated by this game. So it is a dark, edgy Metroidvania set in the Pac-Man universe. Yeah, it's as weird as it sounds. It sees you playing as this not Organization 13 edgy shadow dude who has Pac-Man following him around as you try to escape this hellscape. The world and atmosphere of this game is just really odd. Like, it's so compelling. Like, it's so out of place for Pac-Man. We all know Pac-Man, we know how lighthearted and fun he is, and this is just the exact opposite of that, and I couldn't help but be intrigued. And the game certainly has a good mystery behind it, and I would like to find out more about this mystery, but I've only played a few hours of this game. I will say, when it comes to the actual gameplay though, I am a bit mixed on it. The combat is rather basic, at least at first, and the exploration, it's just okay in this game. Some of these areas are really big, and I just did not have a lot of fun exploring them, if we're going to be honest here. Like, the exploration just wasn't the most rewarding, and I wasn't enjoying myself the entire time. I also got lost on more than one occasion, and it's like, I'm at the beginning of the game. Maybe my sense of direction just isn't all that great, but I feel like the game could have been a bit more clear on where I was supposed to go or what even my objective is. And you might go, oh, it's a Metroidvania, but I'm also at the beginning of the game, like first 3 or 4 hours, and I'm out here getting lost already? Okay. I also thought the presentation was pretty up and down. While I like the game's aesthetic, mood, and just general vibe, these backgrounds, I don't know, they just don't really hit right with me. At least the boss fights were cool, at least so far. This is one that I don't want to be too quick to judge. I feel like it's one of those that might actually get way better later on, or it'll just fizzle out, and so I can't really give a recommendation or non-recommendation. It's just one of those wait and see. I need more time with it to properly assess, but I was certainly having some level of enjoyment here. There is something, I will give you that. It's definitely a lot better than Bomberman Act Zero, I can say that. So while I might not have played all that much of Shadow Labyrinth, one game that I played a hell of a lot of was wuchang Fallen Feathers. Major shout out to 505 for hooking me up with a review code early to actually play this one, and yeah, I played a fair amount of it. I've just about beaten it, but I've also given it an entire review. I've given this game its flowers, a 20+ minute dedicated review to it that you can check out if you want to know my full thoughts. TLDR, I think the game is good. While it's not an exceptional Souls-like and it doesn't really do anything new for the subgenre, at least it's good at what it does. The best aspect of this game is easily the exploration. The exploration is actually really great. And the worst part of it is probably how janky it can be at times, or the crazy difficulty spikes. This game really does have some crazy difficulty spikes. It is not as hard as Kazan, but it is one of the hardest games of the entire year. But regardless of all of that, I actually did enjoy all of the time I put into this one. I actually put more time into this game than almost any other game this month. There was one game though that I put more time into. And that game is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh boy, Donkey Kong Bonanza, man. Just thinking about this game gets me all giddy and excited. I've got a Donkey Kong video coming in the next, I'd say, month or so. It's a pretty big video overall, but Donkey Kong Bonanza, man, this game just goes so fucking crazy. It goes so hard. It is probably my game of the year right now. I am not even kidding. Like, call it my recency bias, but this game just blew me away from the moment I started it. Like, not only is it a great 3D platformer, but I feel like it's the kind of game that I have been looking for many, many years. Many years ago, like 15 years ago at this point, I played Red Faction Guerrilla, a game where you could destroy everything, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to see how many more games let you destroy everything like this. And then we didn't get like anything. And the only games that actually let you destroy like everything look like Minecraft or are very similar to Minecraft. But in comes this game where, yeah, they let you destroy everything, and it is so much fun, man. I had so much fun destroying everything in this game, whether you were just normal ass DK or one of the awesome transformations. It never got old smashing shit in this game, and finding these bananas, it's a whole lot of fun. It's an excellent 3D platformer. It feels great. It looks phenomenal. I love the art style. I love how DK looks now, and the music, oh my god, the music just goes so hard in this game. I played well over 25 hours of this, and I did actually beat it on the plane ride back from South Korea, and I was just popping off the whole time. The last half of this game is just epic, unironically. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but the second half of Donkey Kong Bonanza is better than the first half, and the first half is really good. It's just the second half, it really just goes bananas. Oh. This game, though, has some of the best exploration I've ever seen from a 3D platformer. I love destroying everything. It's so creative. It's unique. It actually builds on Donkey Kong and the world of Donkey Kong. It's got tons of unique, interesting challenges. And at the end of the day, it's just so much fucking fun. Like, I got no other word for it. It's just fun. Obviously, this isn't going to be the game for everybody. I know there are people who don't like just smashing everything in sight. But man, I sure did. I really had a lot of fun with this one, and while it doesn't have, you know, like the epic story or amazing dialogue and character building that, say, Expedition 33 has, when it comes to just being a video game-ass video game, it really doesn't get much better than this for me, at least in 2025. And this is honestly a better system seller than even Mario Kart World. Like, I think this is better than Mario Kart World. I think it's more enjoyable, and it feels like it is the next real big step for Nintendo, where Mario Kart World was a little bit more of the same. While I'm not saying it's, you know, Breath of the Wild status, it doesn't move the genre that forward, it still is innovative and is overall a remarkable title, and I have no problem recommending it, like my highest recommendation, 100%. So another game that I enjoyed playing in the month of July was RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Now, I did do a ranking of all the RoboCop games, and I did get more in depth with my analysis of this game, but again, to keep things brief, I'll just say that I thought this was pretty solid. I actually really liked RoboCop Rogue City. I thought that was an excellent game and super underrated, and Unfinished Business really is just more of the same. And I mean that in a good way. The game is not a sequel, it doesn't present itself as a sequel, it's a standalone expansion where it pretty much reuses everything from Rogue City and puts it into a new context, introduces some things here and there, and I gotta say, it really kicks. The game just does such a good job at making you feel like this unstoppable badass time after time again. Teon really killed it in Rogue City, and they absolutely killed it here again. And I think that if you enjoyed Rogue City, you're 100% going to enjoy this. I won't lie though, Rogue City is the better game between the two. It's longer, it's got more going for it, and it's actually more polished. There was a lot of bugs for me in Unfinished Business, a surprising amount, especially considering how linear it is. But even with all of this, I still found the game to be rather enjoyable. So this probably seems really random, but a game that I sat down and played all the way through in the month of July was Fatal Frame 2. Yeah, a buddy of mine actually got the game physically, and we sat down and played through the entire game. And I gotta say, this is one of the best horror games I've ever played. I'd actually never played all the way through Fatal Frame 2. I had played through Fatal Frame 1 and Maiden of Blackwater, but never 2, and wow, this game kind of blew me away. I played a lot of great survival horror games, but this immediately is in the conversation to be one of the best. Like, it just has such a foreboding, dark, evil atmosphere that very few other games have ever been able to replicate. It feels so oppressive and just evil. There's some really dark, evil shit going on in this game. It is a fucked up game. It's about these two sisters just trying to get out of this demented town with all these ghosts, but man, they just can't escape. There's like some crazy rituals and shit, and it's all kinds of bad. The story's really interesting. The world is really fleshed out and well done. It has some unique twists and turns, and when it comes to the gameplay, it's classic survival horror gameplay, and I think it's pretty enjoyable. Obviously, you'll be exploring around these environments and solving puzzles, and while that's all well and good, it's the combat where I think things really excel here. Using the camera obscura to take pictures of these ghosts and defeat them, yeah, this is some scary shit. There's plenty of jump scares. It really gets under your skin, and I found this to actually be pretty good. The controls did take some time to get used to, but once you really get a feel for everything, yeah, this was just a really good experience overall. It's scary, it's tense, it had me on the edge of my seat legit the entire way through, and it's one of those games where from start to finish, I think it's just an excellent time. There's no filler here, there's no bullshit, everything is very clearly intentional, it all has meaning to it, and the ending really makes you think. It's one of those games that absolutely does make you think. I played through Maiden of Blackwater last year, and that was one of the worst horror games I've ever played. This is one of the best. Fatal Frame 2, I did not expect to play through it in the month of July, but here we are, and wow, what a good game. Hopefully I can play through Fatal Frame 3 and 4 in the next few months, and then maybe I can rank them all in time for Halloween. That would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? Either way, let me know if you all like Fatal Frame 2. I'd love to know. I feel like not enough people talk about this one, because it's really good. And so another game that I had the pleasure of playing in July is Killing Floor 3. Now, Killing Floor, I have a very long, extensive history with this series. Killing Floor 1 is actually my most played video game of all time, and I love Killing Floor 2 as well. So I was pretty excited for KF3, but I was also really weary about it. That beta was pretty suspicious, and there was just a lot of skepticism going into this one, and after playing around 5 or so hours of it on stream, actually, I am a bit mixed. While I do enjoy it, and I think the core moment-to-moment gameplay is actually good, there are a number of issues that I have with this game to the point where I would really have a hard time recommending this game in its current state. I absolutely 110% think that it will get to the state where I can say this is an excellent game and I recommend it, but as of early August 2025, yeah, it's not a hard recommendation for a few reasons. Again, the core gameplay actually is good. I think the shooting feels nice. I think the combat is good. The guns feel really great. Do they feel as good as KF2? Maybe not, but I still think the weapons feel really nice. There's a good enemy roster, and there's a decent number of maps at launch. I like the different classes here. They're all very different from each other, and while it is odd that a few of the classics have been combined, I at least think the new ones are pretty cool. However, I do have some real issues with this game. First off, the game just isn't all that well optimized. KF2 was horribly optimized when it released, but now it's actually very well optimized, so this is one area that I think they'll be improving, but as things stand, it is just not a very well optimized game. There were plenty of crashes and bugs and glitches. It feels like overall it just needs a bit more polish. Next off, I hate the cosmetics. I hate how characters are locked to certain classes. I don't like these characters. They're annoying. I just don't like any of this. Why can't we just have it like KF1 and 2, where you just get to choose between a few different characters, or a lot of different characters in KF1's case, and they all have some decent things to say. The characters are just kind of annoying in this game. I also like that the game just isn't British. Like KF1 and 2 were very British in their humor, satire, and general atmosphere. It feels like that was part of Killing Floor's identity and they just fucking dropped it, which seems really odd. And it just kind of has me scratching my head. Okay, well, I'm not scratching my head. I'm not supposed to touch my head after the hair transplant, but you know what I'm saying. This game introduces this hub-like area to Killing Floor, and I just don't like this at all. It feels pointless. There's not really much to do, and it easily could have just been a menu, you know, like Killing Floor 1 and 2. I just don't really get why this is here. I also don't get why these story missions, I got air quotes going on here, story missions exist. This is just like a total waste, honestly, and it really just serves very little purpose outside of just getting in your way. There's no text chat, which just doesn't make a lick of sense whatsoever. It's 2025 and there's no text chat. There was text chat in Killing Floor 1. How do you not have this? But you know what they do have? A shop. Of course they have a shop with a fucking premium paid battle pass with all the currency bullshit, all the unlocks and all this other crap, and I'm just like, what is this? What the fuck is this? Like, I get that lots of multiplayer games have this nowadays, but really, even Killing Floor's jumped on this? A paid battle pass? The game already cost $40. They included the store, but not Steam Workshop support, and this isn't an early access release, this is a 1.0 release and there's no Steam Workshop. Steam Workshop is vital to Killing Floor. It is part of its identity. Killing Floor was originally a mod. One of the core pillars of Killing Floor's identity is modded maps, modded servers. That is what people are still playing Killing Floor 1 and 2 for even nowadays. I've played more on the modded maps of Killing Floor 1 and 2 than the official maps, and so no Steam Workshop at launch. Yeah, that's pretty lame in my opinion. But I will say I'm certain it's going to be added at some point. It has to be added at some point, right? Otherwise, what are we doing here? And at this point you might be going, man, this guy's been bitching about KF3 for 5 minutes. Does he even like the game at all? Yes, I do enjoy the game. It's just I want it to be better. I love this franchise to death. I really genuinely love Killing Floor, and I only want the best for it. So when I see these flaws, when I see these issues, yeah, I get pretty bugged about it. But the thing is, I can see the vision here. They've laid a foundation, and I absolutely think that they can build something incredible here, like they did with KF1 and 2. A lot of people went into this expecting it to be more like KF2 and to have as much content as KF2. It's neither of those, and while I don't think it's as enjoyable as KF1 and 2, there still is some fun to be had with it. If you love horde shooters, if you love the other Killing Floors, it might be worth giving this one a shot, but for the average person, the normal gamer, I'd say you should probably wait on this one. While I think the game is alright in its current state, I think it's going to become great after some updates, and I'm sure once it becomes great, I'll have no problem recommending it. But that is then, this is now. I think the game's just okay. But anyway, with that tangent over, let's start to wrap things up. A game that I played in the month of July was Wheel World. Now, I played Wheel World during a Steam Next Fest and actually thought it was pretty cool, so I was excited for this one, and yeah, it was pretty good. While it's not the longest experience, it certainly was one of the most unique ones I've had all year. It's a really small game published by Annapurna that is all about cycling, bicycle cycling, and while it is a racing game for the most part, it does actually feature an open world that you can freely explore, and yeah, it's actually pretty fun. The cycling feels nice, the bikes feel pretty great for the most part. I actually really enjoy the handling, and I think the customization is really cool here. There's a lot of different bike parts. I also love this game's atmosphere and vibe. It's got a very unique look to it. All of the colors really pop, and the soundtrack is just phenomenal in this game. It is so good. I love the music in Wheel World. It's so chill, and it's just a mood. It's such a vibe. The story's pretty cute. There's a bunch of biking stereotypes, which is actually really funny, and I enjoy that. And the game in general just has a really good pace to it. Yeah, it only is 3 to 5 hours long, maybe 6 or 7 if you want to do everything, but it's a really tight, well-paced, enjoyable experience. And you know what? Not every game has to take a million years to complete. I wish that there were more shorter games like this. I actually really did enjoy my time with it, and it's going to go down as one of the more underrated games of the entire year. And I think if you're looking for just a fun little different kind of racing game, this is a good one to check out. Or if you're somebody that enjoys biking, I know a lot of people enjoy mountain biking or just riding a bike in general, and I feel like there's not any games about just riding your bike outside of Downhill Domination on the PS2, but that was obviously a very, very different type of game. Either way, what I'm trying to say is Wheel World, this is a good one. And then I guess to wrap things up, we got one other game that I played in the month of July. I played Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, or as many people like to call it, Peakfly. Yeah, I played the game on stream, and it's just as bad as I remember. It was so bad that I had to actually go for a walk and take a break from it. The game's fucking horrible. What do you want me to say about it? I've always hated this game, and will continue to hate it, outside of the soundtrack. The soundtrack is unironically really good in this game. That's the only good thing I can say about it. Maybe for the month of August, I'll play some other shitty game. If that's what you all want to see me stream, then go ahead. But I can't drink while I'm on all these painkillers for my hair transplants, so yeah, I'm probably not going to be drinking till September at least, which is rather unfortunate. My birthday's coming up, and I'd love to drink on it, but yeah, that's not going to happen. Either way, that is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know what you've been playing down below. That's the secret code word. There's not actually a code word. You got to let me know what you played in the month of July. You'll get a heart from me. Let's get a discussion going. Love to see all of the comments. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, y'all. Bye-bye now.